194 dead and destroyed crops since the deluge began last month, complicating the fight against the coronavirus, according to the government. The heavy flooding comes after similarly deadly rainfall at the end of last year and brings with it a second wave of locusts, with massive swarms forming in Kenya and elsewhere in East Africa. In Tana River County, however, more than 5,000 have been misplaced with the ongoing floods, as close to 100 stay marooned, waiting for rescue.
Unaniona nimetoka Burra nikienda kwangu Cherdende. Sijafika, niko siku 3 hapa na kwangu ni hapa ni kilo 8 nafikiri, kutoka Cherdende mpaka Dukanutu ni kilomita 8 na sijaenda kwangu siku 3. Sina ya kutumia. Kama mama juzi jana alinitumania futari, kufika hapa imekuwa nimelipa shilingi 300. Futari kutoka Cherdende kufika mpaka hapa. Hiyo ni shida sasa imenikumba mimi mwenyewe. Je, wananchi wenye wanamchagua MP, mheshimiwa rais, hali yao ndio hivi leo unaona.
Tuko wiki moja na amekatika. Hao watu yote sukari nyewe kutoka Garissa ni shida. Na unga nyewe kilo ni 100. Sukari robo ni 70. Tuko na shida ya kutosha. Gavana tunatakikana hii njia atengenezwe.
Ingekuwa tungekuwa na proper engineers wajaribu kutengeneza hii bridge vizuri, hata mafuriko ingekuwa namna hii.
Na hii ni mara ya 3.
Si hata yani nikiwa mdogo sina umvi mpaka saa hii. Yes. Hii barabara namna hii. Tumeleta National Youth Service, tumeleta county government, tumesema ndio mtibo mzuri, tumekubali. Sasa badala ya kupatia county government hii kazi mnasema Kenya hatuwaoni kazi yao kuweka web bridge na kushikashika magari.
Yes.
Well, the distress is quite evident. Now, Tana River Governor Dado Godana has decried a skewed approach by the national government on infrastructure development in the county. Governor Godana blames the national government for turning a blind eye on local infrastructure, which has become the cornerstone of unending calamities witnessed during the flooding season. Meanwhile, the mega dam promised by the national government to curb the floods menace remains stuck in a political dance as residents hurt. He now joins us live via way of Zoom to shed more light on this. Governor Godana Dado, thank you so much for your time. Truly a sad state of affairs according to the pictures we've seen, but this is always the case. In December last year, if I can remember, a section of Tana Delta was submerged. Areas like Mwanja, Odele and Samicha greatly affected. Fast forward, are we looking at a humanitarian crisis in the affected areas of Tana River right now?
Thank you, Jesse. Yes, historically that has been happening, and the recovery of the water towers, the Mount Kenya and the Badea, has been successful, and that obviously will result into heavy downpours now going forward. And so we expect, as it is happening today, as it happened last year, more people being affected by the floods, both along the River Tana and in the hinterland. So the humanitarian crisis is obvious, very obvious.
What about the
situation?
As we continue, the situation on the ground, let's take a comprehensive look at it, because you can inform us duly. The issue of going to safer, higher grounds has been emphasized whenever there are rainy seasons. And I know this comes with displacing thousands of residents, especially in Tana River County. Has this happened? What measures is the county government taking before we take a look at what the national government is supporting in?
Yes, Jesse, when we came in the last few years, we were faced by a similar situation, and we sat as an administration and we thought deeper, even with national government officials, stakeholders, and through public participation. And we said we needed a shift from the humanitarian approach to intervention to flooding to a development approach to flooding. Through that, we managed to identify several high grounds where people can run away to from the north to the south. And then we identified 14 of them initially. As we speak now, we have registered close to 20 of those places that now can be able to fit in to the development agenda that we have. And we call this program the Village Cluster Program. It's different from just the humanitarian approach. It seeks to put together few of those villages in the flood-prone areas and taking them to those higher grounds I have talked about, but more of reorganizing them to more formal settlements rather than from the informal settlements that have always been. And when we started small. We picked 4 pilots, and now we are working on the 4 pilots. We are currently doing Hanapia. My surveyors and contractors are there. There are contractors at Baomo. There are contractors at Mlima Abo. There are contractors at Nyangwani. These are the 4 pilots which we said we start with, approaching, then heading to the 14. But more people have now agreed to move to higher grounds. And that's why I'm saying we have now continued to register more people wanting to move up. We have registered around 7 more clusters. And that is what we are looking at to be able to move properly to all these floods. It is not a small exercise to do. Moving people who have settled along the flooding area for ages will not take just a word to say move to higher grounds for them to move there.
All right. Even as we continue, if you can still hear me, Dr. Dadu, I mean, you've been on record saying the national government has actually turned a blind eye on infrastructural developments in Tana River County. And I mean, there are always endless calamities, especially involving floods. So it's better to be safe than sorry, obviously. What support is the county government getting from the national government as we speak? All right, we seem to have lost that particular connection, but we'll definitely reestablish it and continue with that particular discussion on the state of affairs in Tana River County. Remember, it's not just the floods, we're also facing the pandemic, coronavirus, as well as the locust as well. So let's take a look at something else developing still in terms of the mixed reactions from vendors in Nairobi's Eastleigh suburb, following the announcement by Kenya's health minister that the area will be cordoned off due to skyrocketing cases of coronavirus in the area. Majority of small-scale traders are afraid of the impact this new directive will have on their businesses.
The government is saying that the number of coronavirus positive cases in Eastleigh has risen up, and that's the result. That's why there's a lockdown in Eastleigh. What does this actually mean for Eastleigh business? At what cost? Because Eastleigh is a business hub. Around 30% of Nairobi County revenue comes from Eastleigh. So this will affect a lot of businesses, it will affect a lot of residents.
So I'm worried. Where am I going to get food? How am I going to feed my children? Surely the lockdown has made me to be very sad, but it's good because they want us to be protected, they want us to be safe, but the government try to give us food.
Well, proper question, safe, but at what cost? Well, your safety is paramount as we continue flattening the curve. Let's just go back to the discussion we were having earlier on with Tana River Governor Dr. Godana Dado. We have established that link. Thank you so much for your time and apologies for that. But as I was asking earlier on, the support from the national government, is it coming in handy? Is there any support as we speak?
Just the question of transport infrastructure in Tana has been a thorny issue. I remember in a meeting with the president in Coast with members with political leaders, I mentioned it, and everyone in that meeting supported my concerns. Tana River is only served majorly by two roads. One, the road that crosses from Malindi to Lamu, and the other one from Malindi through Hola to Garissa. Those are the only roads that we can call them major roads. But look at what has happened the other day, which I hear you airing, the cut-off place between Bura and Garissa. I know those who have been there and those who have watched the clips, they can attest that really calling that road a national highway road is almost a blasphemy to the country. And it's all the way from Hola to the junction. Look at the Masalani Bridge, which was done some few years ago. The completion of the approach to the bridge has remained that way since the beginning of the bridge to date. And now just a small flood is now getting washed away. Actually, as of today, there is no one that can be able to access the other side of the river from either side at Masalani Bridge. That means the whole of Garissa or Ijara is cut off from Tana. But that one is going away with also electricity, because there's an electricity line that connects, is served to Ijara from Hola town. So all those posts now will have to be washed away. So many of those farmers around there will have their crops washed away completely, because a small shift of a meander of the river is causing a lot of havoc now. But most specifically, the loss of that bridge. If I look at things, it is possible that that bridge might even be washed away completely. Look at the connection of the road from Garsen to Ijara. Look at the connection of the road from Bura to Ijara. Look at the connection from actually the whole of Tana to Nairobi.
All right.
Tana has always been going round. People in Tana have always been going round through Malindi, Mombasa, then they go to Nairobi.
All right.
Alternatively, they go through the Garissa Junction, through Mwingi to Nairobi. So the network, the transport network in the county is very, very poor.
Okay.
Such that even at the slightest drop of rain, leave alone the heavy flooding we're talking about, the slightest drop of rain will cause everyone. They put everyone into mess. So
well, that's definitely a sad case. Okay, that's definitely an unfortunate case, especially since you fronted a couple of proposals which still haven't been taken into consideration and implemented. We'll definitely continue monitoring the state of affairs in Tana River County as well as other affected areas by the flood. That was the Tana River County Governor, Dr. Godana Dado. Of course, we will definitely keep you updated. But that brings us to our break right here on News Center. We'll definitely be back with more information for you at 10 a.m. So do keep it KTN News. Good morning.